Welcome to Hockey Hot Tap Podcast, episode 170. I'm your host, Bill Dean. I'm, of course, here with my other co-host, Shorts Guy. Schwim will be joining us soon. He is painting his daughter's future daughter, well, coming soon daughter, her nursery. Yes. Beautiful. I love it. Everything's pink. Schwim is going to be painted pink. It is
yes, he is.
To behold. Schwim is going to be a great girl dad. I'm really looking forward to it. But brought to you by Primetime Radio, courtesy of Mr. Sam Wu, who's a jerk, by the way. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Leave us a 5-star review if you'd be ever so kind. Shorts Guy, I'll ask you first because you're the only one here. What are we drinking?
I'm actually drinking a repeat, but there's a reason behind it, and it's absolutely not a beer I should be having this time of year in this weather. But I still have yellow flashing lights on tap, so I decided to pour another one for tonight, right? Okay. So here's the reason why. No, there's nothing wrong with that, but here's the reason why I wanted to pour it. I ran into one of the brewers at Mud Hen this weekend when I was down Wildwood for Memorial Day weekend. And I said, I'm still finishing up that keg of yellow flashing lights. And he looked at me, he's like, you are the only person or the only place in the state or anywhere that has that on tap currently. So that's why I'm having it tonight. Because there's one place. Nice. There's basically one place in the world where you can get yellow flashing lights on tap, and
Shorts
it's at
Guy's
my house.
Basement.
I just think that's such a rad thing. I think that's a rad thing. So that's
cool.
why I'm having flashing lights.
Not bad. I'm going with the tried and true. I haven't had this in a while, but it's ever delicious. Dogfish Head Festina.
Ooh, Festina.
Delicious.
Festina.
One of the best. I mean, Dogfish is it really is fantastical. It's magical beer.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to our this year coming up, and hopefully you can join us for it since you have not.
I want to
join.
Be there,
but you're there. The house is squared away.
The
house is squared away.
No, that's one of those things. The Dogfish Dash. If anyone could go and do it, it's from what I hear, I haven't been there officially. I will try to be there this year. It's one of those things you got to go and do, and then you go and enjoy the delicious beers afterwards, and you have fun with friends. And you said it's not a terrible run. It's a 5K.
No,
which
it's not.
In general, not that bad.
No, it's a little bit longer than a 5K. It's a 3.8, and it's just a ton of fun. And the course is pretty easy, so
not bad. Hey, I mean, you could just come and sit with the dean, afterwards, and tell me how much I suck and how much the Rangers suck, whatever you want to do. All right,
we'll be on that point. We'll be on the verge of a new season.
Yeah, that would be and hopefully good endings on one side and not good endings on other. All right,
seriously.
Let's get to what's on tap.
Hopefully Corey Perry gets another cup.
Yeah, Corey Perry. What's on tap for this episode? Here's a weekly snapshot. We got Game 3 tonight. Edmonton, Dallas, 1-1 tie.
Actually, should have started.
Takes 8:30. Yeah, so just literally just started. Cool. Edmonton took Game 1 and looked really good in Game 1. And then Game 2 happened, and you could kind of see why Dallas is Dallas, right? They had a really solid 3-1, not beating, but they always felt in control. Or at least I saw them as in control. I know Marchment broke that third period tie, but I feel like the Stars kind of were playing better than Edmonton that whole time. Your thoughts on this series? Obviously, in Game 1, you had Oilers, which had a lot more chances. They go into the second overtime and then they win. Connor McDavid has his goal and an assist. Sagan with 2 goals in that Game 1. Hyman had a goal and an assist too. But like I said, I felt like Edmonton kind of was taking it to them that series. I don't know what your thoughts were.
Well,
or that game, sorry.
I think
not the series.
I think it was Game 1 where Ottinger made that ridiculous stick save on McDavid in overtime, and that's why I want to say I fell asleep prior to that game ending. So I was not surprised when I heard that McDavid wound up getting the game winner, because after you get denied like that, you're either going to fold like a house of cards, or your next chance you're going to bury. And he buried the game winner, which that save by Ottinger could potentially be the save of the playoffs. There's been a couple really
it's funny.
saves. That one in particular could absolutely be. could absolutely be the save of the playoffs.
I think I sent it to you guys. Arthur Shilovs, the guy, the backup goalie that came in, the third stringer for Vancouver, he might have 3 of the top 5 saves in the playoffs so far.
He may as
Some of the
well.
saves he made for Vancouver were absolutely ridiculous. That Auditor save was good. Obviously, the stick on Connor McDavid, the first
Mm-hmm.
overtime. I just felt like McDavid kind of just fumbled it, right? He had so many opportunities to just bury it quickly, and he kind of just, I feel like he psyched himself out a little bit on it, knowing that he had such an open
Well,
net. But yeah, still great on Oettinger to keep his stick in the lane the entire time.
oh my gosh! And he it was on the ice, and then he lifted it and he brought it back down just in time
Mm-hmm.
to make that stop on him. So it's there was even like thought process going on in those
Oh yeah,
milliseconds. So it's like that's why like it looks like there's like an eternity of time, and it was just like a split second. It's just so
yeah.
crazy. But I know they're saying about how McDavid should have probably did better with that. There's definitely rumors of McDavid potentially being injured.
I heard that. Yeah, he's definitely
Not right.
he's seems slower, and
Hmm.
slower for Connor McDavid is light years
Yeah.
for me, you, but
Oh my
most
gosh.
other people. Um, and even players that he's playing with in this playoffs, he's light years better. I Yeah, something's up, but I mean, obviously, game one, the goal and assist, he looked really good. Game two, not so much. You had Ottinger, looking really good, making 28 saves.
Hmm.
Stuart Skinner, 22. Stuart Skinner looked pretty decent in game two. I can't really blame
He's
a lot of stuff on him.
he's doing what he has to do. He's
Yeah,
a
just make a
I
save,
mean, he's a
right?
better goalie than me. He's a better goalie than me, but he's a mediocre
Yeah.
goalie in the grand scheme of things. But they were also, I heard today that he seems to be the type of goalie that thrives on shots, and
Yes.
they were saying that all of his losses come in games where he's had 54 shots or fewer. All of the victories have come in games when he's had more than 24 shots. I think there's like one lone exception to that stat.
Interesting.
But yeah, he seems to be the kind of so that got me thinking. So if you know that stat line because the Stars know that, do
Hmm.
you as a team, do you as an opposing team, and you can answer this more because you're more forward than me. Do you attempt to shoot less on
No.
purpose, knowing he is not good with less shots, like he doesn't get that flow, like that got me thinking. Like, does that then become a strategy for Dallas?
It
Like, okay, do we lessen our shots to try to catch him off?
Yeah, I mean, player's perspective, right? If I get a chance to shoot it, I'm going to shoot it unless there's an
You're gonna shoot,
absolutely
yeah.
better opportunity somewhere else. But as a coach, I can't see telling my players not to shoot, right? Any chance you
Hmm.
get is a chance, right, to score. Weird things happen on different shots, right? Deflections
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just
yeah.
reads and screens and all this other stuff, right? So I can't logically think that a coach would go in saying, this guy, if he faces under 20 shots, he usually, lets in a bunch more. I know sometimes a quick little shot hits him in the pads. It's not really anything that, you'd think about as being a quality scoring chance, but just little things happen, right? Bounces
Hmm.
happen, nicks in the ice, boards
Yeah.
happen, rough play. Like there's so many things that could contribute to a goal happening. And as a coach, I'm telling him to shoot the entire time. And you just pepper the
Yeah.
kid, and you hope that you have enough ammo and that gets through, and that's how you try to beat a goaltender like that.
That's why, like, that's just a random thing that popped into my mind hearing that stat because I don't know what I would, because from a goalie's mindset, like you want all those shots, like bring them on, but
Yeah,
it could be the complete opposite if they choose to be a little bit more selective in their shots, which also leads me to believe that had it been like let's say a Carolina Edmonton matchup for the final, you could potentially have seen Stuart Skinner looking like a freaking all-star,
yeah, yeah,
with the
um,
50 plus shots that they would give to him. And
yeah.
then, but then conversely, on the other side, what do you do defensively? Do you, like, knowing that your goalie needs a couple shots to get into the flow? You
So
don't want to
that's
let
the
up
thing.
shots. You don't want to let shots up, but at the same time, you need your goalie to get into that flow. Like I know, like
Yeah,
when I'm playing, I love getting into that flow. You get into the flow early. and it's those long stretches of time which can really kind of kill what you're doing. Which Stuart Skinner seems to just need that constant. Not every goalie can deal with that with that break and flow, which is, as much as I know you've given me shit for this, and a lot of other people have given me shit with this, about Brodeur in his time with the Devils in the Trap. Brodeur was the perfect goalie to handle that type of play because he can handle 7-8 minutes of no action and then still be on the money to make the save. So it's just this is the weird things that I think about when I have to drive for 6 hours on the way home from the shore on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I mean, man, I don't know.
It's weird, right? It's like it's weird to think about. It's a weird strategy.
I'm not really thinking about that. I'm trying to think of defensively, right, and why things happen, because you have had the last 2 games. Stars obviously won last night 3-1. They had 25 shots on net. Stuart Skinner made 22. The game before that, Stuart Skinner had, and I'm trying to get back to it, and I lost it. The game before that, Stuart Skinner had 31 saves. So, different flows of the game, right? Did different things happen from game to game? It's not the same. So maybe just defense was on their P's and Q's that time versus the next time they're kind of getting a little lax.
It's interesting to think about.
I don't know that I would tell my goaltender, hey, I'm just going to let more shots in on you, and I'm not going to block as many this time. But maybe some guys are like, hey, that's a shot I think Skinner can save. I'm not going to go try to block it. Or I'm not going to try to deflect
I was just going to say something similar. Like, if you're the defenseman and you have the decision to block the shot or let the goalie take it, maybe you let the goalie take it to get into a flow of a game. I mean, if I know that my game is much better when I start getting a lot of shots, and then maybe I'm going to tell you as my defenseman, hey, don't worry about blocking them. Let me see him for the first couple. Let me get into the flow, and then we'll build the game out from there.
Yeah, interesting thoughts, but I really think that everyone's going to try to stop shots and try to. It's playoffs, right? It's every shot matters.
Playoffs.
Even though
it does.
Even though we'll get to this in a little bit, but Florida and conversely Carolina before that, not all shots matter, right? Like Carolina had 90.
Shots
Carolina in that series versus Rangers, they had upwards of 90 shot shot attempts in some of these games and 30 or 40 saves. And some of them are just not great opportunities. And that's what the Rangers actually scoring chances, legit grade A scoring chances outchanced Carolina in that series.
The high danger,
high danger chances.
High danger chances. Because wasn't that one of those overtime games against them that Shesterkin had like 50 plus saves?
Yeah, 50 plus saves. But I think they went back and did it. I think 15 of those were high quality scoring.
High danger, but they just were throwing it on the net.
Yeah, and like you said, it doesn't take much for that puck to go in, right? A deflection.
No, I know that.
I know that. A rut in the ice, which we've seen happen in NHL games. So
your defenseman making poor decisions.
Yeah, it goes off. they try to block it for you, or they try to kick it and it deflects off their. Like,
they try to throw it around the net.
Yeah. I mean, you have, we'll get, like I said, we'll get to the Rangers, Florida in a minute, but that Alexis Lafreniere goal in Game 1 where he puts it in their own net, and it's just.
Oh, I've seen that happen to me.
That's just stuff that happens.
In fact, one of our good co-hosts has done that to me before.
Ray asking, did we talk about the elbow yet? That's coming, right? Don't worry. McJesus scores.
The elbow's coming.
Obviously, McDavid with the goal in Game 2, or I guess our Game 1 in overtime, second overtime after not finishing in the first overtime. You got anything on the Edmonton? So, like I said, Game 3. Game 1. Game 3 starting. It's in the first. I think it just started the.
I think it just started.
16:47 in the first.
I think the Stars have the advantage tonight because if
Hyman already a goal, 1-0.
Okay.
1-0 Edmonton. Zach Hyman deflection.
So that
Connor McDavid, Evan Bouchard.
Connor McDavid with more assists than anything at this point. He's incredible at his assists right now.
So there was a
But
stat that I saw in the Ranger game quickly on that McDavid assist.
mhm.
There was a stat I saw in the Ranger game, and it showed Vincent Trocheck. It said tied for fourth with points in the playoffs with 17 at the time. He had 17, now he has
Mhm.
18, and it said he's the only he's number one when you don't account for Oiler players because you have Leon Draisaitl with 25, Connor McDavid with 23, and Evan Bouchard with 21.
My
Bouchard
gosh.
and McDavid just gonna get more points. So
Yeah, right.
it's very funny.
It's um Edmonton needed to score first tonight because if that crowd gets against
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton, it could be bad. And
No fans, yeah.
if let's say Dallas is able to get, claw two back and end this first period 2-1, that place will potentially boo Edmonton off of the ice, even though
Mm-hmm.
they're leading in the series. So I was going to say before that goal broke, you know, Edmonton was at a bit of a disadvantage unless they did what they just did by scoring first. Because man, that crowd can turn.
Yeah.
That's a crowd that hasn't seen excellence since the the 70s, 80s.
No,
Can't
well,
remember when
you're
they
talking
last
about
won.
with that Edmonton, right?
Yeah,
With Gretzky. I mean, they were winning, 87, 86,
late 80s.
87,
I
88,
could
right?
remember late 80s. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it, they that crowd can turn quickly. So they may be on the
Which
upper
is
hand.
crazy. Like, you have the best player in the NHL. You have a guy that clearly, another guy clearly that could be, you
Best
know,
than anywhere else.
a best in the NHL anywhere else. Yeah. Yeah. 87, 88. 88 was the last, sorry, 90 was the last
Okay,
Edmonton Oilers
right
championship.
before Pittsburgh.
Um, yeah, right before Pittsburgh took it in 91, 92.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, they're Edmonton Oilers that, they won 5 cups in 7 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
short amount of time.
because they took it
I
from
mean
the
that.
Islanders. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, that's so this is to their advantage tonight that they scored first. So we'll see what happens the rest of
yeah.
the game. And I'm turning on as soon as we're done with this. So
Ray Leo says McDavid just scored. I guess ESPN once again not really helped me out. Um, by the way, ESPN just, and I sent you the thing on what's the idiot calling games now? McDonough. He is so
oh
bad.
yeah.
It just I I understand if it's not your team, right? But you're calling a game for the national network, and it's
Hmm.
two teams in the conference finals. Can we have a little bit more, happiness when someone scores watching a goal? Like, I know it's he doesn't like the Rangers. I'm not sure, him and Ray Ferraro. I hate these two, by the way. Um, but you have Ray Ferraro, who was slighted by the Rangers with the contract, so he was pissed off about them, and he's held that grudge for a while. But McDonough, another guy who just doesn't seem to enjoy watching Ranger games. But you have Alexi Lafreniere with one of the more beautiful goals you'll see in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That toe drag into backhand. And Steve has obviously seen this a lot, but Sidney Crosby's backhand is one of those shots that's iconic, right? You have the slap shot by Ovechkin, Joe Sakic's wrist shot or snap shot. Like,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of different things you could think of, and Crosby, that backhand is so lethal. Alexi
Oh yeah.
Lafreniere's backhand is really, really good, and he's showing it. He's got a couple good ones, um, but that one, he has such a beautiful highlight goal, and McDonough's like, "Oh, Rangers scored," and you're like, "Can we have anything? Can you have any sort of like oomph?" I miss Doc
I
Emmerich so much.
I I completely support his disdain for the Rangers.
Yeah. But would you like to hear some like
No,
not
because
happy,
that's exactly
but
how I
some like
feel when the
oomph,
Rangers score. It's like,
some oomph
ugh,
when someone
they scored
scores?
again.
Like, come on,
I thought last year.
Jesus.
I thought last year he was more like a Ranger homer.
No,
I thought
McDonough.
he was. Yeah, I thought last
No,
season in the
against you
playoffs
guys,
he was
every
more of a
single
Ranger.
Devils goal was celebrated like it was a Stanley Cup winning effort.
As it should have been.
Ridiculous.
As
Yeah,
it
well,
should
you
have
guys
been.
lost in the second round, so
Yeah.
not so
Well.
great either.
Well.
All right, anything else, Stars Edmonton, before we get to the series that you want to talk about so much?
my hope is that this series, makes it
I
to
want
6
7.
or 7. I want
Yeah,
6 or 7 for this one. I
yeah,
because
I do
we're
too.
slowly running out of hockey to watch, and that's the. I was thinking about it, like,
Yeah,
because they announced the dates of the Cup final. It's like June 8th to June
yeah,
24th. Which June 24th,
8th, yeah,
June 24th is the anniversary of the Devils' first Cup, by the way, in case you're wondering. Um,
yeah, that's lovely.
when we get to that June 8th time period, it's going to be like, there'll be the game on June 8th, and then like nothing for like a day or two, and then a game, and then nothing for a day or two. We're going to be so starved for hockey.
Yeah,
After the first round is my favorite part of the playoffs because there's so much hockey on all the time,
yeah, I
almost to the point where you can't watch it all.
yeah,
Almost.
and it's rivalries. It's rivalries, right?
Yep.
So you have teams that hate each other. So you already have that built-in stuff, which I don't like the rivalry thing anyway. I want one to play 8, two to play 7, but
It's
it
the
is fun
reseeding
when
that
you
they
get to
should be
see.
after round one.
Yeah, I
That's what they
agree.
should do.
Yeah.
It's the reseeding
Although I think
because,
this year reseeding would have actually kept the same series, or maybe one would have
and it's just
swapped.
and for the first rounds, everything but the two middle rounds, the two middle series in the West would have been different.
Woo! I
Hey,
got it. First shot.
there it
Oh,
is.
mid sip.
Oh,
Woo! Right
oh,
on.
mid sip.
Schwim, what are you drinking, by the way? What
I
was
just
that
grabbed
delicious
something
beverage?
as quick as I could, and it happened to be a Dogfish 60-minute.
Dogfish. There's nothing wrong
Oh
with that.
man, hey, Schwim, you
Can't go
missed
wrong.
it. I had the yellow flashing lights, which is gone already, and I was also informed this weekend that the only place you can get yellow flashing lights on tap is my house. The only place you can get it
His,
on tap.
his basement.
Damn, it's a Shorts Guy
Right?
exclusive.
It is a
Yeah.
Shorts Guy
Shorts guys.
exclusive,
I like it.
and I'm
I'm
gonna crack
down.
open a second one.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So Schwim, we were
What I
talking
missed.
about Edmonton, and Dallas, and what's going
Okay.
on kind of in this series. 1-0 Edmonton with a goal by Connor McDavid.
Of course.
What's your thoughts been on this series? Obviously, we went over the double overtime goal for McDavid. See, it says
Wow,
it
shots on
says
goal are
Hyman with the
7-1 right
goal.
now. Yeah,
Officially
They
with the
no,
change
goal.
it.
So
I keep refreshing, but yeah, it's still 1-0, and they're
Yeah,
out
it says
shooting them
Hyman.
7-1. It is Hyman.
um,
By the way, can all of our networks please have shots on goal permanently up on by the scores from here on out, because it's just so
yes,
easy and it's the
That
best
would be
stat to
nice.
see. It's the
Yeah.
best stat to see. I love it, but I'm partial to goaltenders. Anyway, Shrim, your
yeah,
thoughts?
right.
After I take my
Let's
sip.
take a sip. Yep.
After you sip.
Yeah, so excuse me. Oh, I'm choking on it. All right, so I watched that.
Excited for
I watched
Corey
the last
Perry Cup.
game. I watched Corey Perry. Is he playing? He's not playing, is he?
No, I
Yeah.
don't think he is.
No.
No,
I
I
thought
think
he
he's on
was.
healthy scratch.
Hasn't he?
No. Hey, he'll
Yeah.
still win a
Pretty
cup.
sure. Yeah, he's not playing. Thank God.
C. Perry.
I watched that last game, but I missed. I think I fell asleep right before the overtime started, and I think they scored somewhat early into that second overtime or whatever it was.
Mhm.
But that series has been, I think, as advertised. I thought it was going to be a close
Mhm.
series. I didn't think like Dallas was going to roll over them or Edmonton roll over Dallas. But yeah, that series has been. I mean, it's only 1-1, but yeah, that series has been pretty entertaining to watch.
Yes.
Pretty
Very.
good goaltending.
Um,
Skinner's playing decent. Ottinger's playing
Yeah.
pretty damn good. McDavid doing his usual thing. Yeah,
See, man.
I think the Rangers Panther series though has been a little more exciting than that one.
Yeah.
Well, it has been.
Quickly. Dallas Stars.
stress
They
too.
got us get Rupe Hintz is back in the lineup for Game 3.
Oh, he did come back
which has
tonight.
been
Okay,
yeah,
good.
a
That's
big need for them. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but yeah, it's a big need for them. Obviously, Rupe Hintz, the number one center, and it means more, I think, for Jason Robertson, who's
Yeah.
quietly not had a
he's
good
like-
season, and that's
He's snake bitten big time.
and that's the guy you need to get
that could
going.
spur
Maybe
him.
Rupe. Yeah, maybe Rupe, and Pavs, or Rupe. I don't know who's on the line with him today, but Rupe, and Stankoven, or actually they're Stankoven. Or Wyatt Johnson, whoever they want to put on there, can get these things going, because obviously he's a big part of their team, and Miro Heiskanen right now is doing almost everything. Him and Duchesne, Miro Heiskanen, by the way, let's talk about him for a second. One of the top points getters in this playoffs, and the guy that we all no, everyone in this league would want him on their team. But
Mhm.
his ability to shut down the opposing team as well as provide offense, I think he said he's 210 straight minutes of not allowing a goal. He's
Yeah,
not allowed a
he
goal in
has.
this series, going back all the way
Yeah,
to
it's been
last
a long
series.
time.
He's nasty, and he's tied it for 11th in points with 14. I mean, the guy's a beast.
Yeah, type of defenseman I would love playing in front of me because you
Yeah.
can, you know what you're going to get with him, and you know that you have that full trust in him, which I'm sure Ottinger loves. Just knowing that
Oh, yeah, big time.
he doesn't even have to think about anything when it comes defensively
Yeah.
when he's out there. So
Kel McCarr still leads.
He's like 24.
Yeah,
he's
he's
young.
24. Yeah, Kel McCarr's got 15 points. He still is technically over Heiskanen for his
points.
for points. Yeah, D points per game. The only one ahead of him is Evan Bouchard, which I was just telling Shorts before that they had the Trocheck stat where he's tied for fourth in scoring with 18 points, but he's the first non-Oiler to be in that. If he was number one.
Yeah.
So the Oilers once again racking up the points. Just for quickly in goaltending, you have wins leaders. Igor's at 10, but that's just because he's played more games. Save percentage, goals against. It's clearly Jake Ottinger.
They scored again.
Who's left in the playoffs? They scored again.
I don't know.
I think it says 2-0. Looks like it says McDavid scored.
Wow.
I don't have it on the TV right now.
Ottinger goals against 204.
Yeah.
Then
Connor
Bob,
McDavid from Ekholm and Hyman.
Wow. Save percentage. Excuse me. Save percentage. Igor's got it with 925. Ottinger 922. Bobrovsky 903. Hasn't had the best playoffs. Still obviously very good. He's Bob, but
and rounding out the bottom four.
Yeah.
Stuart
Sorokin. So I say Stuart Skinner. Yeah.
Out of those that are still in there.
Samsonov, the one game, 6.61 goals against average, one start, and a 786 save percentage. Buzz your girlfriend. Woof.
Woof.
Yeah. For a guy that played 3 games, Cam Talbot, 1 and 2, 5.3 goals against an 861 save. Oof. Yeah, not great. All right. Just quickly, other news before we get into the other series. Dan Bilesmo is named Kraken's coach, sources say. So he'll be leading the Kraken. You have Scott Arniel as the new Jets coach. He gets a second chance. He was obviously the assistant coach under, but not Bowman.
Bonus.
Who was the coach that? Yeah, Bonus.
Yeah, Rick Bonus.
Sorry. Yeah, Bonus. Henrique also returned from a 7-game absence for the Oilers today, so they, gained a good two-way forward with Adam Henrique for the Oilers.
I wouldn't mind seeing him win the Cup with Edmonton.
Yeah. Lastly, Czechia wins the gold at the Worlds. They had Pasta and a couple other guys.
Pally.
We were talking about this. Yeah, Pally. Schwim, we were talking about this at your house with Steven, and we'll get Short's guy's opinion. But did you see? So Czechia goes into the playoffs, or goes into the round robin tournament. They have the same team. They go into the game against the U.S. and they bring in that game specific, Pasta.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about this.
It was 3 guys. It was Pasta. It was
Pasta. Was it Zaka? I think it was that. Yeah,
Zaka, and it was someone else. It was someone else really good too. Oh, it was Marty Neckass.
Neckass.
So they bring in the 3. They bring in the 3 of them for that playoff game against the U.S. team. They get the win and keep going. But I feel like that shouldn't be allowed. You should have to keep the after the round robin games.
Freeze.
That's your roster set. It should be a roster. You cannot add anyone post that. And it's kind of bullshit. I mean, U.S. got kind of screwed on that one with facing Pasternak in a elimination game. So
you're adding 3. You're adding 3, and I wouldn't say superstars, but one of them's a superstar, and 2 other really good players.
Really good offensive players. Yeah.
and that's like really going to help your team out. And it sucks that they were playing US at that point. I don't know how would that still be the same thing. Say they were in that final game and like uh, Pasternak or whoever got eliminated. Would he be able to play just in that championship game right away, or I guess you can
Yeah,
come in at any time. It doesn't matter.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I don't
Maybe,
think there was
I mean,
a rule.
it's just
It's kind of
sucks.
bullshit.
It's just like
There should be.
Yeah.
kind of
So
BS and bad luck also at the same time.
I kind of understand. So looking at it from both sides, I kind of understand why they have that, because the best players play in the NHL, and these tournaments are always at the same time of playoffs. And I can see why they're going to allow them to come in, but at the same time, like when you're going into like a knockout stage of a tournament like this, you shouldn't just be able to bring in basically ringers, which is
No.
what they're doing, or there should be a potentially maybe you submit a list of potential players you'll bring in if they don't
Yeah.
make the, if they're
I mean,
available.
they put everybody,
Like,
right? Canada would put Connor McDavid on there.
Yeah, more than likely they would put everybody, but maybe you limit to who, you have three potentials that you can list. And
Yeah,
that
I like
would
that.
that would limit it to who you could potentially throw on there and who you can bring in. And if that player is not on that list, that's it's kind of a gamble on the GM's point of this, of like, all right, well, 6 players are available potentially. I can only name 3. Let me name these 3. If those 3 don't become available, well, you're screwed. I just don't like the idea of just being able to just bring them in unless they're named to the preliminary roster prior to the tournament.
I like it though. I like that. Yeah.
I
Give a
mean,
list
you
of-
could definitely do something. It's different because this, like you think about like the roster freezes that happen, like you have to submit a roster for the World Cup for soccer, but there's nothing else in the world soccer wise going on during the World Cup, with one lone exception or a couple lone exceptions, but none of the biggest players are playing in any of those exceptions. Whereas this tournament may be better served starting right about now. After when you get to the conference finals, maybe now the round robin starts, and then you get to the knockout
And then
phases.
that's it. Your roster's finalized. You can't add anybody at this point. Like
Yes,
they're starting now.
yes.
Like you can't add anybody.
Yes, I mean there's workarounds, like, and I understand they want these guys in these tournaments, but then like this situation, like Pasta comes in, and the U.S. was not expecting Pasta, and that's a huge get. And I also at the same time hate that these international tournaments for ice hockey are not seen at the same level of like international tournaments for soccer. It's got to be. I would love it
show
if it was.
Yeah,
I would love it, because soccer, you play for your national team. Like if you have, unless you physically can't do it, you want to play for your national team. Like that's the big thing. It's just, and I just wish that international hockey tournaments had the same kind of weight that like the World Cup does.
It was still pretty exciting to watch. I didn't even realize until
I would love to have watched it.
I only saw like I think what was it? Saturday they had 2 games on. The 2 games, the Canada game and something else. I forget, whatever. But I found it hilarious that Canada didn't even medal. They lost to Sweden. In the bronze game. Sweden got the bronze. So I was like, oh, I was happy. I was happy about that.
I would have loved to have watched it if Dean's illustrious owner hadn't made me pay more for the NHL network. Stupid James.
Yeah.
Stupid internet.
Was there any other hockey stuff? Just random. I'm trying to think of any other random.
I didn't know about that Dan Bilesma hire.
Yeah,
that just came today. Oh, and was it Waddell or whatever his name is from Carolina is now potentially.
Ops. He's gone to Columbus, right?
Columbus, yeah. They did name, so Eric Tolsky was named interim GM for Carolina. So,
is that picture that the group sent where he looks like what's his name?
Yes, I sent it where he looks like Ghostbusters guy, the villain. Not the villain.
What else the guy's name?
Is it Hans or Jan? Yeah, it's something.
Is it like Jan or something like that, or Janish or something?
Yeah, Janish. That sounds very close.
Is that
to
what it is?
right.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
It does sound very close. All right, not quickly, but let's get to the other series. New York Rangers, Florida Panthers. Rangers up 2-1 in the series. Yay, 2-1 in the series. Thank you, Shorts guy. All right, so game 4 tomorrow, Tuesday. Today's Monday. Tuesday in Florida. There was a sea of red in Game 3 for that. Florida just, I think every single season ticket holder, all 5 of them, sold all their tickets to the Rangers fans because there was a boatload of red jerseys in that arena, blue and red jerseys, which was good to see.
Blue or
All right, so
red?
Game 1. Yep, Game 1, Panthers
Drastic
3-0.
difference.
Yeah, sorry, blue, red. Yep. Game 1, Panthers Rangers, 3-0 Panthers win at MSG. I was there. It was a miserable experience. I felt like the
That's what you
chances
get for going to the game.
overall.
Yep.
Yeah, the chances overall kind of were even, and that kind of saw itself in the fancy stats categories and stuff. But the Rangers just could not get and sustain offense. I felt like they were just kind of missing the puck. You have the goal by Matthew Tkachuk, which was just a screen on Adam Fox, and Shesterkin just didn't see it. I still felt maybe he could have picked that up, but it was basically a 1-0 hockey game until Alexis Lafreniere tips in the pass from, I believe it was Sam Bennett.
Future TBL.
And yeah, and they go down 2-0, and the sale just went right out of MSG. A lot of people left. I stayed until the third goal, and then I stayed a little bit after that, which was an empty netter, and then I finally headed home to only find that lovely Amtrak was having issues with their power and completely shut down Penn Station. So I had to take the path to Hoboken to get an Uber to go back to Secaucus to get my car to go home. So thank you, Amtrak. You suck. And
What
I
time
hope
did you get
guys
home?
They
all-
wanna-
3 a.m.
I got home at like 1:30.
Oh,
The game had
Jesus.
ended at 11. Yeah, it
And
was
New
a miserable
York-
experience.
And New York wants to charge people like us more money to drive into Manhattan when trains are unreliable. Well,
Yes,
I
yeah.
guarantee that
Commuter
that
tax.
situation that you dealt with that night is going to delay
Yeah.
congestion pricing because of
It might
of
be.
that.
I mean,
That's
the
going to be
governor
a
was
big thing. The governor was pissed.
Yeah, he was pissed. I mean, he's not going to do
and
not
right
gonna do anything
so.
because these guys
Like-
just sit on their pockets. But yeah, it was bad. Anyways, so that's game 1, and it just left a sour taste in the Rangers fans' mouths after
I
that
loved
horrible
it.
game 1 experience.
I love that
game
Panthers
2.
victory.
Yep, thank you. But you're gonna love these 2 Rangers once more.
I hate
Game
these
2,
two Ranger
Rangers
games.
2-1. It was 1-1 after 1. Goals by Barkley. Goals by Victor Trocheck with a nice tip from Adam Fox. Carter Verhaeghe on the power play with a rifle. Then second, third going to go by. Rangers were probably, they did obviously a lot better than they did in game 1. But they take it to overtime. Barkley Gaudreau with an absolute snipe, former TBL. And Garden goes home happy. 14-01 into overtime. Jacob Trouba with an assist, who has got 4 in the playoffs. Vince Trocheck with another assist, 9
What else
total.
did Jacob Trouba do?
Panarin also
Oh,
had an assist. He had 8. Adam Fox with 5.
Your title might
and
give
you
the
had
listeners the clue.
Trocheck with 1 and 1. But Igor had a fantastic game, 26 saves, 963 save. You had just overall in that game, you could see a lot of back and forth, but the teams, were not just feeling each other out, but it was more of, kind of knowing what was going to happen with the other teams in the series. So finally, game 3 yesterday, 3 p.m. Sunday of Memorial Day. 5-4, New York Rangers win in overtime.
Just
and
stretching
a lot
over
of
here,
scoring
Billy
to
Dean.
start. Sam
Just
Reinhart, 250.
Stretching over here.
250 into the first. Sam Reinhart, 250 in the first, gets a power play tally. Barkov and Tkachuk with both assists. You had Alexis Lafreniere with one of the more,
That was a nice goal.
with heads up play on the first
He'll look-
one. You had
He'll look
Barkley
awesome
Gaudreau
doing
with
that
the tip
Amelie
in.
Arena in blue and white.
Yeah,
True.
Emily. Barkley Gaudreau with a nice tip in for the second goal. So Rangers go up 2-1. You had Sam Reinhart come back with another power play goal off from an assist with Carter Verhaeghe. So Reinhart with 2 power play goals in the first. Second period, Rangers go up 4-2. Alexis Lafreniere, and that's the highlight reel goal where he toe drags around and gives the backhand up over Bobrovsky. And then Barclay Gaudreau again shorthanded. And this is kind of where it started. Jacob Trouba has I guess the first one was a trip. I think he had a tripping minor. And play continued. And Evan Rodriguez comes with the puck and takes Trouba on the inside. Trouba, being flat-footed, reaches out with that forearm that he kind of uses on.
That
most
wasn't a
of his hits.
forearm.
No.
That
Hold
was
on.
not a forearm.
Trouba, hold on. Trouba does the thing where when he goes to hit, he goes into the forearm. That's what Bieksa said. Everybody says. He hits him though with the elbow part on the top of the shoulder pad, which rises into his face, into his head, neck area. It does. If you watch the clip, watch first. He does hit his shoulder pad first, and then it rises up and hits him. And
I kind of
that
don't
is
care
the
where
reason
he hit him. I don't care where he hit him. He's
I agree.
blatantly elbow at the guy.
Yeah,
I don't. And he got an elbow penalty. He got an elbowing penalty. That's an
he had
elbow.
a $5,000 fine
Everyone's
today.
pissed off. Well, that's fine. I listen. Should he have gotten suspended? Yes, but that's not what player safety calls. This whole season, you can't be surprised that this is not a major when that they haven't called this the entire year. They haven't called it at all. You can't be surprised about it. Should it have been? He does art. Well, he's not the only person that hasn't gotten 5-minute majors for this. It should have been a 5-minute major. He should get suspended. They have to change the rule. They do. They have to. I agree with you. They have to change the rule, but they talked to you about principal point of contact, and it was his shoulder first. So that's why you can't be surprised about it. You can be upset about it because it is upsetting. I don't like Jacob Trouba. I don't want him on my team. I don't want Matt Rempe on my team. I've talked to you guys about this multiple times. And I have to defend myself, or I have to defend the Rangers on this because this is the way the NHL calls these penalties. And it's not the right way, but it is the way. So that's all it is that's the point of contact, and it rides up and hits him. Should it be a 5-minute? Yes, but it's not.
It's the problem with Trouba is this is how he hits, and it's going to hurt somebody at some point. But this is also not the first.
It has
time
hurt people.
Trouba,
it has hurt people. I mean,
and
Sidney Crosby was out for a while after he got chicken winged.
And if this was like one of the first few times Trouba did this, okay, maybe you can say this or that. But this is just how he hits, and it's not just his elbows. Like, he's a stupid player. Trouba is an absolutely stupid player who I want to say he's one of those players that just absolutely blacks out at moments in the game and then becomes absurdly violent. I mean, the hit that almost was, and if he would have connected, was that with Tony Dan? No, who did he almost hit in the Carolina series where he was
neck ass.
basically parallel? Yeah, he was basically parallel with the ice.
Well,
it's still
the one thing I would say with that. No, he
left
doesn't
his
leave
feet for that one.
He
left
does
his
leave
feet
his
for that one
because Natchez when he saw Trouba coming, and you see him, and he goes down, and so he jumps. Listen, he jumps over top of him, and he goes like this because he's about to face plant the boards. I mean, he was going to get railroaded. He was about to get railroaded, and he ducked, and Trouba went over top of him and literally face planted the boards.
Natchez. He would have given Natchez a
but
concussion.
You don't know that he would have used his elbow in that one. He might have just shoulder planted him right in the face.
No, he would have used his elbow because he was leading with the elbow. He was leading with the
not.
elbow.
If you watch him going into that hit, he sees him go down, and he jumps over top because he knows he's not going to stop.
Oh my! Jacob Trouba is a dirty player. Jacob Trouba is a dirty player, and it's a constant thing. It's a the worst was the worst was this year on what's his name from Boston, where he took advantage of being off balance and just cracked him in the freaking head.
I think that's just him being stupid. I don't know if that's a dirty. He didn't try to swing a baseball bat Trent Frederick in the face. Like they didn't even suspend him because of that, because it was just.
Well, that's when they went full court press on him being an artist. That's when they went full court press on him being an artist. It was immediately after that. Oh, I'm an art. I do art. Like, I remember some slack-jawed interview he did on the ice afterwards.
You know what it reminds me of? And then, Short Sky, you know what it reminds me of? When
what?
Homer runs the red light, and he's like, "It's okay, I'm a teacher." It's kind of like Trouba. It's okay, I'm an artist. Like I'm just gonna start using that line now and get out of everything.
Oh man, it's
Ray Leo put this out there. And he says the NHL didn't suspend Trouba because it would help the Rangers if Trouba went into the lineup. He also said they're lucky the combination of Trouba Rempe hasn't cost him a game. I agreed.
Your boy Rempe
and actually,
played 4 minutes
Rempe
again.
did cost him a game. Yeah,
4 whole minutes.
Took a penalty. Took a stupid penalty and played 4 minutes. Like what is his? He has no purpose.
No, I've said I don't want
Jacob Trouba Jr. He's got that same dumb slack-jawed look on his face.
Have him like not dressed, but like near the bench or something, so the people can see him. I don't know. It's like it's worthless to have him play.
The dumbest excuses I heard fans say that he gives them energy and jump. This is the Stanley Cup playoffs. If they don't have energy to jump, they don't belong to be there. These are NHL players fighting for their dream.
When he's in the lineup, and that's what everybody's like hanging their hat on. Like, oh, we're so 7-1 when Rempe's in the lineup.
Well,
he plays 4 minutes and takes 2 penalties every game.
4 whole minutes.
It's so stupid. There's no way that's helping you.
I can't tell you how many people when I was at the game on Monday said that Hedl shouldn't have been playing and they should have had Rempe playing instead. Hedl's a better player, idiots. Hedl deserves to be there because he's good at offense. He's a good player.
Dean, your fan base is almost as dumb as mine. Your fan base is almost as dumb.
Almost as dumb, yeah. They might be dumber. I don't know. They're both right on par.
They're like to say that Rempe is a key part to you guys winning is pretty absurd.
My fan base isn't dumb per se. They're just really old and don't know anything.
Really old, and there's only like 15 of you. I would love nothing more than for Johnny Brodzinski to be in the lineup over Rempe and for Zach Jones to play over Trouba because he affects every single deep. Like,
hey,
in the beginning of the series,
Trouba won the Messier Award, the Captain's Award. Gee, I wonder how that was given out. Gee, how was that one given out?
Trouba can't even take himself out of the lineup. He tried himself to take himself out of the lineup with that.
Yeah, he's trying real hard to take himself out of the lineup.
So there's no way he's coming out of the lineup. It's impossible.
Yeah, what's his name did say that. He was the Messier Captain's Award winner or whatever. It's like, yeah, wow, Mark Messier chose the jackass captain of the Rangers who needed a good PR boost.
He hasn't chosen him yet, but yeah, I don't like it.
He's an artist. He's the captain winner. He's in a commercial for Big Pharma. Like, come on, like this guy's a clown.
He's sitting there with his mom, and we talked about with Woo, like his mom. Cancer,
yeah, I know. I get that, but it's like, it just seems to be one of the one of the dumbest players. They've done full court press since that play against Boston to make him not look like a jackass. They're basically it's Marchand 2.0 with him. It's Marchand 2.0 with him, like trying to make him look like he's not.
He hasn't licked anybody, so.
Now I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure that's. I'm sure that's coming. I'm sure something's coming. He'll do worse. He'll do worse.
I know TNT has Cali. I want to see him instead of ESPN's got going for us. Leah Hextall. Like, how can we have 3 worse people calling a game?
Do you have is McDonough calling every one of your games, and then what's his face is doing the Edmonton Star Series? What's else his name?
It's Kenny Albert.
Kenny Albert, right? He's only doing the Stars games, and friggin' McDonough.
Yeah, he's doing
Ray.
He's doing TNT
during the Ranger games.
Yeah, McDonough and Ferraro, ESPN. He's TNT.
I'm sorry, I just don't like him as an announcer.
Well, we were talking about McDonough before you got on that he's just There's no. I understand it's not your team, and homers will call and be excited about it. Can we have a little bit more oomph though when someone scores a goal?
He's got
Lafreniere has one of the most beautiful goals in the playoffs this season, and it was like, oh, there's another Ranger goal, and you're like, what?
Goal?
Seriously?
I've heard him multiple times. Goalies make like ridiculous saves, like a save of like, oh, you better remember that one. That one could be huge, and he has no reaction whatsoever to it.
Yeah.
Like that was just an amazing,
terrible,
huge save in the game, a huge point in the game, and there's like little to no reaction to it. That's what I've noticed with him. It's I don't know, it's not good.
And I think it's the radio. I think it's one of the radio guys that I've listened to over the last couple of days. Is it John Forsland maybe? That whenever there's a big save, he says so and so says no. It's like, wow, this is
Oh,
it's
I like
actually
that.
really awesome. It's really
Yeah.
good. I think it's
The
Forsling that
Rangers-
does
good.
it.
I like
It
Forsling.
could be.
I wouldn't mind him.
He's
the
good.
Rangers for the
Yeah.
radio have had Don Maloney, or sorry, Dan Maloney, as the
Mhm.
the color analyst, and he is so the first it's Sam Rosen obviously calling radio for the Rangers, but he was out, so they had Don LaGreca in last game, and he's every time someone scores, he's stepping on score, and he's going absolutely crazy bonkers, and it's funny because he just steps over the play-by-play guy all the time, but it's just it's classic, and you got to love it that he's got so much enthusiasm.
Sounding more and more like Espo.
Yeah,
Oh God! Imagine if we had
it's-
Espo on the on a national
I
game.
take him
Oh
over
my
Ryan
God!
McDonough. I mean, over Sean
Really?
McDonough. I take him
Sean
over
McDonough.
McDonough in a
Ryan
heartbeat.
McDonough's okay. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
I
like
don't
Ryan
know.
McDonough.
No, we don't want
oh.
Espo like being the play-by-play caller.
No,
Just
no.
want Espo as the guy in the background.
He's a
But
bit of
there
a
was
free-for-all.
so I heard this.
Jesus.
Every game
So-
he's just like, all you hear is these noises coming from the damn microphone because he gets more upset, I think, than I do at games.
Man, nice.
What the? You always hear him chiming in the background when he thinks
That's awesome.
something happened. It's funny.
Schwim, speaking, and we'll go back to the Arenas game, but Ryan McDonough back in Tampa. Very good trade for them, second round pick. You guys have no picks until the end of time.
Oh, no.
But
I love
good
Ryan
trade.
McDonough
He gets back
in
in there. I wish
Huge.
the Rangers could have gotten him. He wanted to be back, I guess. So,
I mean, they're not done. They're
Trotz
still, I think,
made it
gonna have
happen.
to deal some more people. But I
Bye
think he
bye,
immediately.
Stammer.
I hope not, but I think he immediately stabilizes their decor,
Oh, yeah.
which is what they really needed. So I'm
Apparently
glad
the
he's
rumor-
back. Yeah.
The
Huh?
rumor was that one of the first people that McDonough heard from when he came back to Tampa was Stammer, who had just gotten off the ice with someone else, may have been Hedman or someone.
Yeah, him and Kucherov
Him and
were
Cooch.
on the ice.
Him and Cooch, yeah.
He was like the first ones to talk to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully that means that Stamkos, they can work something out and get him to stay. But who the hell knows at this point? But I think there's another trade coming. I think they got to trade somebody else out of there to be able to not only pay McDonough his contract, but also try to offer Stamkos a contract.
Yeah. All right, going back to finish the Stranger game. So they go up 4-2 in the third. Florida just kicks their ass. Barkov with a goal off his foot. Wasn't directed, and it was a legit goal from Carter Verhaeghe and Nico Mikkola, and then Gustav Forsling just a little over a minute later, almost 2 minutes later, with an absolute laser beam over Shesterkin, gets it tied at 4-4. Nice, but overtime, 5:35 in, Alex Wenberg with a tip off of Ryan Lindgren. When I saw the goal, I thought he maybe hit it off his hand. I was expecting it kind of come back.
That's what nobody left the ice. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Did he?
Yes,
that's what I thought. I was like, wait.
They're all staying on the ice. Nobody left. Yeah.
Well, you watch that, and it is beautiful.
Close.
He just, basically in between the shaft and the stick, into his hands, he directs it into the net. An absolute beautiful tip in on a very hard shot to tip, because obviously you only have so much in between your hands to
you
use
to do that on purpose.
If you do it with your hand,
you just
it's
happen
done.
to be there. That's one of those things where you turn and you're like, That's one of those tips where you're not purposely trying to do it. You just kind of turn and it's
and
there.
This year has been not a clone, because it has, there's been things that changed, but to compare it to 1994, it's like a lot of stuff has happened, with the clips and all the hurricanes and the tornadoes and stuff.
Here it comes.
No, hold on. So Alex Wenberg is the first Ranger trade deadline acquisition to score an overtime goal since Stefan Matteau. And he coincidentally did it in Game 3, which is also what Wenberg did. I mean, come on. Like, how's that not? That's crazy. That it just the little tiny parallels that happen are very funny. It is funny how a lot of the stuff has happened.
If that's the case, then be ready for us to win next year, and then 2 more in the next 7.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to do that with Sheldon Keefe. So We could chat about that another time.
You
Actually, we
hope
haven't
not.
talked about that. We have not talked about that, so we will.
We have not even talked about it. Let's go
you're
Devils
basically
podcast yet.
You're basically a poor version of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
No.
You're a poor man's version of the Leafs.
No, because we have these things called defensemen.
No, you do not have defensemen.
We do have defensemen.
That's why you guys did so well this year. You have Dougie Hamilton.
Because
they have Morgan Riley.
Injured.
They have Morgan Riley, and you guys have a couple of guys that could be good, but Hughes doesn't play defense. He might become better. Simon Nemec might get better, but right now, if you look at your teams, right, it is you have 4 forwards. You have 4 legit forwards.
Yeah.
They have 4 legit forwards. They have 1 defenseman. You have 1 defenseman, and then you both have no goalies. You're Tampa, just a worse version of Tampa right now.
Can you make up your mind? Are we Tampa or are we Toronto?
Toronto.
Will you
Toronto.
make up your
Toronto.
mind?
I'm sorry. Toronto.
We actually have a GM that wants to make these changes who hasn't sunk 3/4 of our cap into 4 players. So we're going to be bringing in a goalie this summer. It's going to be different. We're not the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're not the poor man's Toronto Maple Leafs. You want nothing more than to watch us fail with him, and we're not going to fail with him. And fantastic. If we do, we'll get another coach, and we'll keep moving on. But I really hope that this is the guy that's going to do well for us.
What was it? Hold on. Was it 40%? It was 40%, right? Was the Toronto? Is that what it was? 40% of the cap?
I have no idea. I don't know actually. I don't know exactly what it was.
It's over. I could go in a second, but just so we're looking at this, right? Timo Meyer's 10%, Jack Hughes is 9.1, Jesper Bratt's 9%, and Nico Hischier is 8.27. So you're 38% of the cap in your 4 forwards.
Oh shit!
And we have these things called defensemen, which Toronto.
You have 1 defenseman. You have a $9 million cap hit, Dougie Hamilton.
Stupid ad. Here we go.
Stupid ad.
I'm actually kind of excited to see like what
Austin Matthews.
No, I think it'll be. I think it'll be better.
Austin Matthews 15.1%. William Nylander 13.1%.
13.
John Tavares 12.5. Marner 12.5.
Do you actually believe that Marner's could be traded out of Toronto?
Yes, he will be.
You think he's gone?
Possible.
Yeah, I think that they're going to get a goaltender from him. So absolutely, yeah.
What if they like? I really hope they're not going to go for what's his face, Olmark, are they?
Saros. I think UC. I heard
Saros could be a potential. Yeah.
I heard Olmark and Natchez could be
53.2%. 53.2% in those top 4 forwards for Toronto. We're not
still
Toronto. 50. That's over
still
half your
high.
cap. It's over half
Still
your
high.
cap. Same thing with Edmonton.
Yeah.
Just think Tampa's going to be paying a 12.5% of their cap to have Lafreniere on their team in like a year and a half.
12.5? You think he's going to make $11 million a year?
It's possible. Tampa fleeces you guys and then pays them well. It's possible.
You'll somehow pay for most of the contract and then trade him to Tampa.
There'll be a sign and trade.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You'll retain 3/4 of it.
Retain.
We're getting we're getting Braden Point, sure.
No, you're getting no one. You're getting fleeced.
Yeah, Braden Point. Fleeced. So obviously Rangers up 2-1 in the series with games 4 tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Go Cats,
Ray
go.
Leo saying Olmark turned down multiple trades this past season. He will have to send in his updated no trade list.
He will. Apparently, Devils were on that list. He didn't want to come to us.
Yeah, Devils really are the Oilers/Toronto team. Loaded up front,
not.
weak on blue line and in goal.
We are not.
The parallels
Just
are
wait
pretty
till we win a
close.
cup. Oh my gosh!
I'm waiting. It's been 20 years.
Yeah, well,
it's been 20 years. Just like you remind me, it's been 30 for me.
30 for you.
Yeah, but still, 20 years. I mean, Short Sky was actually young back then.
We all
Hey,
were.
I was in 7th grade. I was in 7th grade, just like Schwim and Steven when the Devils won their first cup. There in person.
Yeah.
7th grade me was losing his shit watching the Devils win the Stanley Cup. So
Yeah, Ray goes, "Hey, the Oilers are in the
I was
Western
a-
Conference Final, so I'll take it."
I was a
Would.
strapping
Yeah.
22-year-old when Tampa won their first cup.
I was goddamn 9 years old when the Rangers won the championship. I'm 39. Like,
Wow.
Yep.
I was 12.
I've said this.
I won.
I want one. Just give me one, and I'll be happy. I won't complain anymore. Give me the one.
You
and you won't hear me
You
bitching.
will.
No, I like, especially because I'm at the time of my life where I would appreciate this more than I think you guys have appreciated yours. Than, well, maybe Schwim, because, well, Schwim, you were how old when your first one? With
When Tampa won
Marty?
their first one? 22.
Yeah. Oh, so you still.
So it was
never
in
mind.
04.
You,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was old enough to appreciate it.
no, mine would be hands down glorious. Steven, that guy wins all over the place, so I don't really want to hear
Seriously.
from him. He's got two of the top players of all time to ever play for his team, so he can't bitch or complain at all. All right, you guys got anything else?
I don't. Schwim?
I don't believe I do.
Listen, Rangers, get going. I need some offense. Stop playing this defensive trap bullshit like the Devils used to play. Igor Shesterkin has been lights out. He's been crazy good. Short Scott, you can obviously admit that for a little bit.
I can. It's just
is
you gotta hope he doesn't get burnt out.
Yeah, no, I agree. So if you were to give a leader for Conn Smythe right now, it'd be Igor for the Rangers, right?
Yeah.
Who would be Florida for you guys? For me, I think it's Matthew Tkachuk.
I think it's one of three people. It's Barkov, Kachuk, or Verhage.
Barkov, Tkachuk, Verhage. Okay. Is there anyone else you would put in for the Rangers? Trocheck's been really good.
I was gonna say maybe Trocheck. He's been.
You're
really
not
good
there
with
without
Rangers.
Shesterkin, so no.
Yeah, no. It's
be
clear
yeah,
one.
It's definitely Shesterkin.
It's clear one,
I
and
think
then there's even a space between two. There's number three is really what it is.
I would put Trocheck.
You know what I would
in
love?
second or third place there.
You know what I
Second or
would love
third.
to see? You know what I would love
I
to
don't
see?
know if I want to hear this.
Yes, you do. I would love to see Shesterkin win the Conn Smythe like Jaguar did.
Oh no.
Just
I
a
knew that
look
was
of
coming.
abject,
As soon as I caught Smythe.
look of abject misery as he's
Yeah.
collecting that trophy.
Yeah. I mean, go to the Stanley Cup final and to have him pull the. I mean, it's still a hell.
It's
of a,
basically
yeah,
only
that would-
goalies that
would
have ever.
suck.
I want to say it's probably only goalies that have ever won the Conn Smythe.
I
losing
think there's
efforts.
one Conn Smythe forward
Hextall.
because he had
Hextall did it?
50 points.
It was
Um,
Jaguar, and that's the year that Brodeur should have won it, but Jaguar was just a little bit better. And then Hextall won it in the early '90s or the late. Yeah, it had to have been the early or the late '80s.
5 players have won the trophy as a member of the losing team. Roger Crozier, 66 Detroit Red Wings. Glenn Hall, Blues. Reggie
Bully.
Leach, that's what it was. Reggie Leach won it with the Flyers in 76. He had, I think 20 points ahead of anybody else. It was something crazy.
Wow.
I'll look up 76.
And then
Chase
Hextall and
Jaguar
Jaguar.
and Ron Hextall. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 76. Let me take a look.
So usually
76
it's goalies
playoffs.
that win it.
Yeah, it usually is goaltenders. Obviously done pretty well. Reggie Leach, the first Aboriginal-born NHL hockey player to get his name on the cup.
Really?
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's a pretty rad stat.
I was trying to find his scoring because it doesn't seem to. Let's have it up there. I'll find it later. But yeah. So who would you have for Edmonton? Is it Leon? I think Leon.
Yeah, probably Leon,
Excuse me.
David, Hyman in that order.
Yeah, it's either
Leon,
Draisaitl or
no
McDavid.
Bouchard, huh?
Okay, yeah, maybe Bouchard. I forgot about him. Yeah, he's been doing awesome,
There's no way. There's
I
there's
actually
no way
think
they're
I'd
not
go.
giving it to either
but not ahead of
Draisaitl or McDavid.
Draisaitl. Yeah.
I think it would go for me. Draisaitl, Bouchard, McDavid. But close.
There's
I'll
no
throw,
way
I'll throw
McDavid's gonna
Bouchard
win a
in
cup.
third.
There's no way McDavid's gonna win a cup and not get the Conn Smythe.
I mean, if Draisaitl's, I think he's had more impactful moments.
We're also thinking that it's going to be,
I
you
hope
know,
they would
the league's going to
give it
be
to
on
him.
the up and up with things, which we know the league is. This is the worst
Yeah,
possible
never.
league. They're gonna
Yeah.
want to see him not only hold the Conn Smythe, but then be given the Stanley Cup. The league is just that way.
All right, and then lastly, Dallas. I would choose Heiskanen first, Ottinger second. Wyatt Johnson, cool,
Johnston?
He's up there.
He's got a case, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if Ottinger, I don't know if Ottinger's really done enough to warrant getting it. He's playing just good enough for them. Like, he's not the Ottinger that I think people are expecting, unless he were to kind of just take this series and just
if he takes it over, then maybe
throws it on his back and takes it over and wins
Yeah.
this series and the final. It's I don't even know if Ottinger's in the conversation.
Yeah. All right, Edmonton's up 2-0, end of one.
Nothing.
Guys, let's drink some beers. Festina,
Some beers.
always delicious. 425. Schwimmer,
Good old 60-minute 4.0.
always good.
The
Always
only
good.
place you can get yellow flashing lights on tap in my house. Like, whatever, I forget what I gave it. Something really good.
4.5.
425, 45. But I would like to say Happy Memorial Day to everybody. And the reason for the day is for
Happy
those
Memorial
that went away and never came home.
Yep.
And did what they were asked to do and gave their lives for it.
Mhm.
True
we
American
can
heroes.
do what
Patriots.
we're doing right now and what we celebrate, have barbecues
like
and all
jerks.
that shit because of people,
Mhm.
like that did
Yeah.
so much for us.
I will-
for us today. So
I will throw
Happy
this little
Memorial.
throw this personal anecdote. My dad is a veteran and
so is mine.
completely
Yep.
sees those that gave their lives as the true heroes.
Yep.
And the ones that should be remembered, not anyone that comes home.
Papa Schwimmen, Papa Shorts guy, my sincerest of congratulations.
What
and
was your
awesomeness.
what was your dad in, George guy? Was he in Vietnam?
He was he was drafted in '69 during Vietnam to the Army.
Yep. My dad was
My
in
great
Vietnam,
uncle
too.
was a Vietnam paratrooper, so pretty cool.
Nice.
My uncle was
He got shot in the
my
knee,
dad's brother
same
was,
knee twice.
Damn.
Yeah.
My
My
dad's brother
grandfather
was
He got two
a,
Purple Hearts.
World War II.
my dad's
And,
brother was
He
airborne,
has Purple Heart.
so he saw that stuff.
All right, Trim, take her home.
Oh, well, besides Happy Memorial Day, I was going to just go into Google
coming
and
soon.
type in elbow jokes and see what comes up. So let's see what the first joke is that comes up when you type in elbow
All right.
jokes. Hold on,
See you
it's
guys.
coming.
Have a great week.
Hey, the elbow joke.